So we are live now. This is our new camera here and our microphones. Call meeting to order. Roll call.
Vote.
Here.
Matt Bittner.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
Trantham.
Here.
Sharon. Here. Kyle Bittner.
Here.
Riley.
Here.
Most.
Here. Number 2, petitions by citizens on non-agenda items. If there's anybody in the audience who wishes to speak, just come up closer to one of these microphones, please.
So I'm just going to ask if there's any plan for any kind of accountability for the CERTOP or the ROINC or anybody for these repeated mistests. Do you have a plan for any accountability at all for anybody involved? That's my question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Steve Wilkie, and I'm trying to build a home on Rogers Street next to the Presbyterian Church, and tried to annex to the city, and for whatever reason that didn't work out. And now we're in the county, and I was going to get my building permit in March, and they wouldn't give it to me because they said the entrance was restricted to agricultural use only, but they since have amended their ordinance, so now I can put a driveway in. So I haven't, see JR?
He's behind you on your right.
Oh, okay. So there he is. So I've spoken to him a little bit, but ideally I'd like to do something like Allen Brands. We don't want to put we'd like to use the existing curb cut. We don't want to put a big 50-foot wide driveway in because we're going to have a 12-foot driveway with a pretty good size 50-foot by 50-foot parking area where our house is to turn cars around. So ideally we would like to leave the curb that's there and pin into it, and I don't have a problem pouring 7-inch concrete or whatever you guys want, an apron, to the right of way, and then other than that. But I don't know if that's what you're going to talk about or not.
I will be.
Okay, all right, that's all I got.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else who would like to speak? Number 3, City Clerk, the 6/9/25 utility meeting minutes. You have those in front of you. Any updates for Michelle? Any updates or corrections?
Michelle, I have one. Under myself, G, the last sentence, second last sentence, this process will be repeated every 3 to 4 months. It's every 6 months.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other updates? May I have a motion? Kyle, in second. Matt? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. 4, Community Relations Coordinator. Sarah?
Yeah.
I'm going to flip-flop the agenda and just give my report here real quick before we have our visitors come up. So I handed out a list of upcoming events. Obviously next week is the fair. That's a big one for Waterloo, so lots of fun there for the community. July 24th, 1 p.m., there's going to be a ribbon cutting with the Waterloo Chamber for the Parrot Perch, which is located at 117 Over Eagle Lane. So if you're free, come and join us for that. August 16th is the Lou Family Fest at the fairgrounds. This is the third year that this event is taking place. It's the monster trucks and more, just so you know. And then just save the date. I wanted to get this on your calendars. It doesn't happen every year, but this year Waterloo was selected to host one of the Southwest Illinois Council of Mayors monthly meetings. There's a lot to say. But we're going to host in August, and it's going to be on August 28th at the Vintage Wine Bar. So area mayors will be meeting here 6 o'clock. I think they'll probably open doors at 5:30, so I wanted to get that on your calendars.
That would be for elected and also Sarah and JR.
So just wanted to get that.
If you could come, we appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Okay. And then also, just to get on your radar, we're just at a year now. Next year, the United States will celebrate the 250th anniversary of our independence. We've already been working with the local Whiteside Station chapter of the DAR on some things going on for the community to celebrate that. The Lakeview Park Veterans Memorial that they put up last year, that was for the celebration. But I'm also going to put together a special committee, planning committee, to decide what we as the city would like to do to commemorate that milestone. So I'll keep in touch with y'all on what we decide and plan, but just wanted to let you know that there is a special committee in the works, and we will do something for that. So just wanted to bring that up. And then the last thing before we hear from AO Creatives, I wasn't at the June meeting. I was on vacation, so I wanted to just touch base with an update on the fitness court, since that was something we had discussed at a prior utility meeting. Last we talked about it, we were waiting to hear back from the fitness campaign on a site score. We had given them several sites that we thought might be a good location. Of course, the sites that were ranked highest were at all of our parks. So we had a discussion with the park board, and that is just something, they had a lot of the same concerns that we had as far as noise and maintenance of the fitness court. So due to lack of a ideal location at this time, we're just going to table that project, if that's okay with everybody. Our city sites that we had as possibilities are just, they're too much in residential areas, and I think the noise would be a big factor for us. So we'll keep it as an idea for the future, but until we get a more ideal location, we're just going to table that.
And also the Park District at some point in time, they decide that they actually want something like this, and it would go back to the Park District if they have that priority, so.
Yeah. So, any questions so far? No? Okay, so then the other thing that I had tonight was we have George and Marty from AO Creatives here with us tonight. They're going to come up here in just a second. They're a marketing firm that specializes in helping business strengthen their digital presence. So they just created a proposal of some things that they think would be helpful to the city of Waterloo to put us on the map as far as helping increase engagement, promoting our local events, attracting new businesses, new residents, promote tourism. So I'm going to let them come up and go over. I did give you all a copy of their proposal. Yep.
Well, I was just going to say, I got you in touch with George and Marty, and the idea behind this was you had talked about this, doing something of this for years, and we hadn't actually done it. The tourism has money in the account.
Correct.
So we were looking for something to do and to boost visibility or whatever that doesn't, have a pamphlet that we, and there's nothing wrong with those, but when we print out things like that and people pick them up.
Right.
This is something that I think would have a longer or a better reach to our residents and also people that are visiting. So
Right.
that was kind of the ilk of why we decided to just have the conversation, and then they gave us a proposal, and that's why they're here now.
Correct. So I'm going to let them come up and kind of go over the proposal and what services they have available. I'm not looking for an answer tonight. I told them this is just informational. Ask any questions, and then after they have their discussion with you, then we can come back and ask questions, as well as maybe in a committee meeting where we decide if we want to move forward or not. So, George, you want to come up?
Here?
I think up here would probably be better. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Sarah.
First, I'd like to thank you for including me in your meeting tonight. My comments will be brief. Just to explain a little bit about myself, I've been living here for about 17 years. I'm a resident. Marty is also a resident. I've got about a team of 10 people at C-suite marketing folks, and we service a lot of different verticals, and we're hoping to work with Waterloo. Just real quick, let's see where I can start. There might be some questions about what search engine optimization is. Some people may not even know, but it's what's important with the internet, which allows you to be seen, much like the Yellow Pages was in the 80s. So somebody said, hey, I can just post stuff on Facebook and people will see it. Well, statistically, you could have, for instance, you could have 11,000 followers when you only have an engagement of 500. So that's with no promotion. What we do is we optimize all the content. We allow you to be seen by people that are non-followers. That's what the key is. So our job is to make sure that people see Waterloo in the light that's necessary, with great food, things to do here. Again, I brought along some items. I'll try to be brief because, again, I don't want to take a lot of your time. But we're strategic in what we do. We put together campaigns. We make it so things are targeted via zip codes. We go into places where other companies won't. If you're looking for growth in, say, a 25, 35 female area, we would target our messaging for that. We just currently took over Bountiful Blossom to do their social media, and then we built a website for Kyle's place, Happy Hour. So we are engaged in the community. I look forward to an opportunity to further discuss what we can do, and I'm excited about being here and sharing with you what we've done. In terms of the different platforms and handles, you can't just have a Facebook page. You just can't have a dummy website, because if you build something, it has to be built on rock. It can't be built on sand. And you've probably heard that somewhere before, but it's true. So that's our job. That's what we do. That's how we create good messaging and audiences for people. So in terms of what our company's about, we just don't do posts. We do content, we tell stories, we do long form videos that are geared to specific events. We have talked briefly about the different events that happen here in Waterloo, such as the Porta Westfalica, and many other things that can be highlighted in a very professional way. Now, my background is almost 35 years in TV. I don't want to admit how old I am, but some people will, some people won't. But in terms of what I've done a lot of storytelling, and when you apply that to the digital marketing and advertising campaigns that we can create, I believe we can take Waterloo to the next level. So if you have any additional questions, I'll stick around for a little bit. If you do, the proposal is there. Feel free to, if you want to ask a couple questions now, or we can wait for a later time for that.
I guess the two things I wanted to point out is there's no long-term commitment on this. You know, if we decide that we aren't seeing things that we want to see, we can terminate it at the end of the first contract, which I believe is 8 months. And then number two is, with the optimization you were talking about, we should be able to see data that says from month number 1 to month number 8, we got more engagement, or we got, and that's very important to me if we would do this, because in the past you put stuff out there, it's hard to gauge hard to gauge the engagement. Yeah. So if you can see that it's going up, well, then it seems like it's doing a good job. If it's staying flat or stagnant, maybe it's not something we need.
Yeah, and then if I can elaborate also on what you're saying, it does take a little bit of time. You have to be committed to doing it. We also do the reporting every single month, so I would be providing to the council a report, good or bad. If we're doing well, great, everything's thumbs up. If we're not doing well and we're going sideways, then we're going to make some changes. But we would certainly inform all those that are involved that, hey, we might change up some things in terms of the advertising or any sort of social media posts that we might be making. There was discussion of specific targeting for events. Now, albeit that this is a short contract, I would tell you there's so many things that go on throughout the year, even this, just in the last 2 months, tons of things. The parade goes right by my house. It's just right there, which is awesome. But again, it is about those numbers. So we live by those. That's how I direct my team to do what they do, and we have best case scenario for that. I can cite some examples. We had an attorney in Manhattan that called me up and was absolutely in tears because he couldn't get in his website. He was like, what can I do? I've never met the man, but within 48 hours, we were able to capture his website, rectify his business. I'll give you his phone number, you can talk to him. But he says, I love you because of that. And so I like to see people succeed. I would like to see Waterloo in a positive light throughout Illinois as well as Missouri. So that's what I'm about. Anything else? I hope I covered what I needed to. I didn't want to take too much time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, George.
Thank you guys for including me.
Five human relations coordinators, Tricia.
Okay, so just a few brief updates for you all. Last meeting, I think we announced that Brad had switched positions. He will be going to the power plant fleet mechanic once we hire and train a new building inspector. So giving you an update on that, we have received 15 applicants for the building inspector position. We're in the process of conducting interviews and hoping to make an offer soon, just so you all know. And then also last time I had reported we had hired a full-time clerk. Jennifer Kajawa has now filled her position. She's been in that position for about a month, and she's doing great. We're super happy to have her on board. She came in with experience and is doing wonderfully. And then the next position that will soon be going up internally is our sewer plant lead position. As you all know, Jim has an upcoming retirement, so that position will be available soon. Any questions?
How many applicants did you say we had for the building inspector?
15.
15. Thank you.
Any other questions?
How many years have Jim's probably been with us?
Put her on the spot.
28,
20, yeah,
31.
31 years?
31.
31.
So he and Jim Burke came in very close at the same time. So.
Jim was here a little longer as intern or summer hire, intern as well.
And he has shared quite often with me how much he enjoyed this position and working here in the city, and what a great position it is.
Great employee.
Yeah, he is great. That's it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Number 6, our collector budget officer, Sarah Craig, is on vacation. So we'll see her next time. Number 7, Chief of Police, Dave.
So, nothing questions on that. It's pretty similar to what I give you guys every month. We've been recently in touch with Axon as far as acquiring 5 additional tasers. We got a quote. It's $19,680. They have that broken down. You pay it yearly, or you can pay it one lump sum, but it is warranted and serviced each one for 5 years. So, I didn't know if we wanted to consider moving forward.
Is it in the budget?
I was going to ask Sarah, but I think we put it in the budget this year.
I believe it is in the
I believe
budget.
so.
Sounds good. Need a recommendation or anything? Or?
Yes.
I'll make a
Although it's actually in the budget, I always feel better if we have a recommendation coming out.
Yeah, I mean, you've talked about it in the past, 5 at a time, rotating them out.
And actually,
We have to do it
the
to
issue
stay
is
compliance.
tasers after a period of time are no longer valid to be used.
Right, our older ones are becoming, they're out of warranty service, so anytime we have an issue, we have to sign it in, we got to pay for it.
Like I said,
They're eventually going to quit servicing our model that we have now.
Yeah,
So,
we've talked about it before. If we need a recommendation, I'll make a recommendation to spend the money that's in the budget to get 5 new tasers.
Okay. Hoppy, you good?
Yeah.
Joel, Matt, Tim,
yes.
Tina, Jordan?
Yeah.
Gary?
Great. The one other thing we've kind of been working on is getting our schedule ready for the fair. It's kind of a big event for all of our officers each year. We spend a lot of hours out there. Once you know that everyone's scheduled, there'll be an appropriate number of officers for each night. Some nights demand higher number of officers, like your Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, a little less officers, but we should have it covered.
So our officers, our normally scheduled officers are on plus?
Yes, we have the normal amount working like their normal shift, and then we're adding additional overtime officers out there. Yeah. Expect to see former Chief Trantham out there every night too.
It's out there about 30 years. You probably won't see me. You keep looking though.
But you get free pass, you need to be out there.
I go out there during the day with my grandkids.
Yeah, that's all I got unless anybody's got any questions about
Got a
it.
quick question, Chief.
Yeah.
It looks like number of service calls or calls for service were down. Seems like, considering normally we're over 1,000, it seems.
Last
Was it all-
month before was in the 900s, so it kind of fluctuates.
Wasn't sure if it was cyclical at all, or just,
There's some months where we typically are in the 800s throughout the year, and then some months we're over 1,000 or 1,100. Would be the heat. I don't know. Sometimes it slows things down a little bit.
Or warms things up.
Yes. Has both effects.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Number 8, Director of Public Works.
Brad's gonna help me out, hand out, brief outline, and then, the ordinance regarding Mr. Wilkie's property, so we can walk through that.
Oh, is there 2 there?
Oh, yeah, I have to.
That's right.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
I got 2.
Yep. Your station.
Want to have a great shot?
All right, did everybody get an outline? I'll have it up here on the screen as well. I think got a couple items here that give folks updates on, one being obviously the water treatment facilities here. The press release, I believe I talked to pretty much everybody except for Jim Trantham on Friday via a phone call about the delayed sampling. We issued the press release on Friday. We are still in the discovery mode to try to determine where the breakdown is presently. And obviously I'm disappointed and it didn't happen, but I want to say that the water is safe. We have no reason to believe that the water is not. I went back to the samples we took, these similar samples that were required, the radium samples and whatnot from when it was the well was being tested just about a year ago. Compared some of those parameters with what the EPA has set guidelines for on all 3 wells. I do have those reports with me here. If anybody would like to look at them, I do have those. We do have those in person. Don't have any concerns that the test will pass moving forward. So we did submit the samples approximately 8 days late. You'll see here the picture here below, and those are the samples that are required for this time. They're quarterly samples. We found out, or we're aware that there was a letter that went out. The city wasn't aware of at the time, but we're aware that this is a set of samples that needs to be required. They were submitted, like I said, 8 days late, and they're at PACE Laboratories in Peoria being tested, or in their queue to be tested. Getting the quarterly samples. I'm disappointed in it that we didn't get them, but this is where we're at. If anybody has any questions, or Mayor, if you have anything to add.
I would just say that the water that comes out of the wells is safe to drink for everyone. We are required by the Illinois EPA in order to process that water even farther, to add chlorine in order to make it safe when it stays in either the elevated tower or in the lines for a longer period of time. If in fact that you lived in Valmeyer and you had a well, you would be drinking the water that came out of those wells without it being processed. And the people have been drinking that well water now for obviously for all of the hundreds of years that people have lived here. There's nothing unsafe about the water. We did fail to take a water test, a water sample, as quickly as we should have. And that's actually the issue, is we failed to get it done on time. And that is our fault. And we have issued FOIA requests to EPA, PACE Labs, and a number of them to decide where that breakdown is in order to correct that problem. As you can see, this picture basically, these are actually sent to us from PACE Labs. Each of these bottles actually has either preservatives or something in them that they prepare for us, send it to us in a cooler. We fill each one of these with water. We fill the cooler, put these back in the cooler, fill it with ice, send it to UPS, and they overnight it to PACE Labs. So it isn't like where we can take a sterile bottle and take a water sample and send it to PACE Labs. All of this is required by the Illinois EPA, and everything that happens to this is actually prepared long in advance by PACE Labs or the Illinois EPA, or whichever lab it is that you have tested for you. So it's a very complicated process. Obviously, we have to conquer that.
And we're working toward conquering that.
Right.
We're well aware of all the samples that we need to be taking. Here, another couple bullet points. You see that we took 60 lead and copper samples, which we had to take. Not residents provided those to us. It was 5 sample bottles. Nathan led the charge on that, getting those accomplished. 5 sample bottles, 1 in 5% to PACE Lab to be tested. So we're meeting those. We're meeting our other routine samples, getting those submitted. We submitted our CCR on time, submitted our public notices on time. We're working through all the other items. So obviously it's a new plant to us, and operating that and collectively understanding. Again, I have a copy of the demand letter from the EPA on what samples we need to be taking. So we have a better
I think I would probably also review the number of water samples that we take on a regular basis to ensure that the water that's coming to your homes is safe. I'll let you do that. The daily samples that are taken at the plant and the samples
That's
that
correct. So obviously the operating logs that are online, you can see those. We're taking monthly routine samples, and then also everything's 5 days a week. And then also we're taking chlorine samples here at City Hall and then various spots around the distribution.
We have water samples that are taken in 10 different locations within the city of Waterloo, in addition to the water plant, the million-gallon tank, in addition to a lot of other tests. The water is perfectly safe to drink.
Gary?
To
There's, just for a quick recap, there's tests taken 5 days a week, every week.
That's correct.
And then there's, in addition to that, there's the quarterly test, which this is one of those.
That's
Is that
correct.
correct? What other tests are taken?
There are monthly routine samples.
Monthly. So we've got daily, 5 days a week, monthly,
That's correct.
and then we've got quarterly. This is quarterly. What?
There's also other quarterly samples that we take, the TTHMs, HAA5s. I mean, there's UCMR5s. There's also quarterly samples on top of that.
They're not the same quarterly samples.
Correct.
Correct.
And then there's also, once we hit a certain threshold, it'll be every 3 years for a couple of those quarterly samples, as we're transitioning from a prior water source to what we have today.
At what point, how was it discovered that we were behind in getting these samples?
There was a demand letter sent to CERTOP, and that came at the end of June, and the samples needed to be submitted by June 30th. That is when we were aware of it. Or I should say, Chris called the lab, contacted them, we need sample models. He contacted the lab again, needed sample models.
Chris being CERTOP.
Correct.
Right.
So I have a question as well. Obviously, we take a lot of samples, and the IEPA has a ton of them that they require us to. Is there, this may sound simple, but is there like a master list of this is what samples come on by date X, and be submitted by date Y? Is there any kind of list like that that we have?
That's what I'm referencing in this demand letter, the
Okay.
samples that were required.
Okay. And so that's what I was wondering, because I would feel like there's nothing new that these samples are in there. It shouldn't happen, is that it's something we have an Excel spreadsheet for or something, such that.
More or less, it's in a letter. We've identified them. Nathan's been tracking them now with Outlook calendar invite, just reminders, just to follow and make sure. We did some due diligence. We're continuously doing that, but in February, Nathan called the EPA. What other samples do we have? There's just a lot going on. We're trying to discover, get a better understanding of where things went, south. Myself, Nathan, we take this to heart. We don't want it to be a problem, right? I mean, it's safe water. I mean, you go to the point of a water main break today that impacted quite a few residents in Remington Ridge and Country Club Hills with no water. So what was the first thing I did? Walked over to Sarah Deutsch's office and we issued the boil order and let people know what was going on. Chris from CERTOP called IPA, let them know approximately how many people were out. I called Brian Eckert over at the Monroe County Health Department, a matter of minutes of hearing about it. So, same water main break in the Bell subdivision, we're notifying the resident. That there are the critical points when you have a water main break. Those are that happens, there's contaminated water, we're aware of it. We need to flush it out of the system. So those are the critical points that we need to be continuously monitoring and flushing that out for sure. So it's not like we're not going to take the sample. That's the important part that I want to be clear that these critical times are what we need to be looking at and focusing on, as well as the others. And I'm not saying we don't, but that's the public notice that's important to everybody.
For sure. And the underground guys did great. I mean, it was under 2 hours. They had that fixed and ready to go.
And we have the sample sent off this afternoon, so hopefully we'll hear back later tomorrow afternoon or Wednesday morning if they pass. We believe they will, but there's always this chance also. Still under a boil order. I don't want to say it's not, so it's still under a boil order.
Until the test comes back.
That's correct.
So, going back to the sampling, we've been on plant since roughly the end of last year. So we accomplished all the first quarter sampling without error, without violation, correct?
There was a distribution sample in February.
That's right. There was 10 days late.
That was the late one too.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a difference between a missed test or a failed test and simply a test that was taken late. The two tests that you're talking about, those water tests were taken a few days late. They were not missed, and there were no failed to us.
Right. So we're still waiting on information on exactly how and why this was missed. So we'll get that in the future, I guess.
That's correct. That's what it sounds like.
As quickly as possible.
Right.
You're in discovery, you said.
That's correct.
You're in
Right.
discovery. Make it happen.
That's why we issued the press release on Friday, just let everybody know. Again, called it each and every one of you. So Mr. Trino messaged him, text message, but he was out on a flip trip, I understand.
Actually, I think it's a very important issue. Does someone in the audience actually have a question?
I mean, why are we?
No. You'll come up here, come up to the microphone so we can hear you.
I mean, I know
And
money.
this is outside the protocol, but microphone's right up here.
I know money don't grow on trees, but and the city's got a lot of it. But why are we going to continue to pay $9,500? Because I've noticed in other meetings, you guys say that the city's not responsible for taking these samples. So at that point in time, we know whose responsibility it is. It seems like it's their top. So why do we go ahead and extend their contract if they can't even abide by what they're supposed to do now?
Well, I think on a number of things that you're actually incorrect, and that
I'm just telling you what
I believe our employees actually take most of the samples. The samples that are done, the plant Certop does. I would have to go to Nate as to actually who takes the samples, but I believe they're our employees.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, distribution, we take all those samples.
Then the city should have their own water team. If the city's going to take the samples, they might as well go and renegotiate the contract for the water.
It's much more complicated than that.
I get that, but you continue to outsource, and that's where problems lie.
That would be your interpretation. That's not our interpretation.
You always have a defense to something.
Would anyone like to ask a question?
I have an operational question.
Okay.
Just their quarterly tests. We're in the third quarter now. Can they just go ahead and take them now? And we won't miss anything.
You have to have this.
Call Pace and have them here next week, then we don't have to worry about it. So do it the first part of the quarter instead of the last part of the quarter.
The laboratories actually create these based on
I've dealt with these on it.
what IPA tells them to do that.
Is it because IPA could change the tests that are quarterly needed?
So there were tests we didn't know we either needed to take because of a different water source.
Right.
Some of that is complicated because we changed from surface
Right.
to
We
groundwater.
don't have to
But they make the
test for nitrogen anymore, that kind of thing.
We can add a little bit clarification. The first quarter, IEPA did not require that test.
Right.
Okay.
It's different tests each quarter.
No, this will be the
Potentially.
same one.
This one
This is the
forever in perpetuity until
For,
they tell us
for
not to.
time being.
Until
So
we get a good run of data, then it'll be potentially every 3 years.
it's up to them.
Right. IPA can do what they want. I understand.
So the second quarter is the first time IEPA required that sample.
Got it.
So Pace Laboratories, they fill orders the month before the quarter starts. So do you understand the IEPA issues a letter April
do it
1.
the first part instead of the deadline. But,
Right.
Yeah.
So
But we can't because we got.
there's a lot of moving parts is part of it. So we're in the third quarter. We should be getting that shipment soon, or ready for the third quarter.
Okay.
So now it's a ball that's continuously rolling.
Got it.
And so, if I heard you correctly, it's more of a that basically IEPA notifies Pace and says, "Hey,
No, they notified the ROIC.
oh, wrong. Okay,
Right.
got you."
No.
And then Pace is notified. Then I guess okay, test A, B, C, D, E is needed for City of Waterloo by date X. And then they start preparing the
Right.
bottles, basically.
They will go on the IEPA website to pull that in. It's all on the website at one point. So this being the second quarter, being the first quarter of this, that's where Pace didn't see that on.
Got you.
And that's where we're working on these discovery.
Where that break was. Okay.
quarter being the first quarter.
First sample quarter.
Okay.
How about that?
Second quarter being the first sample.
All right. I thought you were talking like John Madden or something.
Why not?
But they have just notified us there has been no fines, correct?
There's been no fines that we're aware of.
There's no failed test, just late test.
Just a late
We took it
test,
late.
no fines.
Correct.
Anybody else have any other questions on that? Or, again, if you got any questions anytime, please email me or pick up the phone. I don't answer probably on the phone with somebody else.
Give it up.
So how many failed or how many late tests are we going to have until something's actually done and we stop having late tests and somebody's held accountable? That's what I want to know. Because right now I'm tired of buying bottled water and my water tastes like crap.
There's nothing wrong with your water.
Well, you want to come into my house and look at my ice cubes?
If you will tell me where you live, give that information to Nathan.
I live right down the street from Hoppy.
Okay. We will come to your home and take a water test.
Okay.
If you'll give your address and information to Nathan right there, we will schedule a water test for you.
Because I got pictures for you that looks
No,
like baking soda.
we'll come
in
and
my
take the
cup.
water for the sample.
Okay. Will do.
Actually, again, do you have any questions? I talk to some of you on a regular basis. So
Yeah, appreciate you being available. I know we've talked a number of times over the past couple of weeks, so appreciate that.
Yep, you're welcome. Again, we don't want it this way. We are trying to solve the problem. I think we have it, so we're moving forward. I mean, we need to keep this plan operating and moving in a positive direction. So that brings me to my next point: operating, maintaining our hardness of about 180. We're within that range. If you look at the operating logs, we're a little bit higher for some reason, but on the hardness lately. But I believe that's because we brought well 2 back online, and we're trying to tweak some of the chemistry that's in there. So that's obviously my next point here. Well 2 has been brought online. They put the new screen inside the other screen successfully, and we've been operating with that well for I think probably 2 or 3 weeks. We had it in service, but we needed to do some calibration on some of the programming to get it back in service with us. So it's good.
And that's why some of the well data on the actual spreadsheet is a little wonky.
It's something with this data.
Yeah.
I inquired about that. Was
Negative usage numbers. You're not putting water back in the ground.
That's correct. So that's it on the well update. Anybody have any other questions on it overall? The next item I have here is the Fair Solar Credit. We had a resident come to the last utility meeting. I was able to coordinate with some more on IMEA. I'm getting some calculations and some formulas and that. You'll see here overall our fair solar credit per kilowatt hour is, as you see on the bottom here, these are the calculations that go into that, calculating that level of that. So here's I believe the data, more of the data that Mr. Shea was looking for.
I think so.
Has this been shared with him?
It has not. It's on here.
Just send him a courtesy.
You guys are planning to send it to him, or?
I sure can. In fact, I was contemplating whether or not to meet with them. I think that was something that I mentioned before. Talked to Kyle briefly about it a little bit, but trying to get some bearing on it on the meeting, get a better understanding. So I can send that out as an email.
This calc is from IMEA.
That is correct. This is how
we are per contract obligated to follow this calculation.
This is the number that they provide us. We do not necessarily have to follow. We could go either direction.
Right.
Of it.
We could get less if we would.
That's correct.
Well, we have not strayed from their recommendation in the past, correct?
That is correct. And many of the municipalities have not. same number that the other, many of the other municipalities have there. When you get into, so we're in the Ameren territory, comment territory is a little bit different on that calculation. I want to say that that's the number that they give because I don't know what ComEd gives on the transportation. All right, those are the two big items there. Just switch over to the next page, capital and other project updates, Villa Court and Griner Drive. Prepared a letter, sent that to the property owners or residents of those areas. We have 2 meetings set up. We're going to meet with them. We've got some folks that have contacted us back for which meetings. So the letters went out. Some information. Plan on meeting for, I guess, an hour or so. Kind of depends on how many folks are there. Just kind of talk through the feasibility and what the next steps are. We're not just like committing to anything. Just trying to get a better gauge of what everybody has to get people down, sit down at the table and talk. So Joel and Matt are assisting me with that process. And we'll do the same thing with the South Main Drive area. Kyle printed the plat. Looking at that, we're going to have some setback issues there on if that becomes right away, but we can work through mitigating those. So
refresh my memory, where is Southview Drive?
it's
the condo just as you're going south out down on Route 3 before right there south library. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I believe the only issue there was setbacks. The homes were too close to the street. The setbacks, they had to be 25 feet, and I think they were as close as 21 because they were so close to the creek when they built those. I believe the streets are all built to our specifications.
One of the streets is ours that we maintain.
Right.
The horseshoe portion is not because of that issue.
But I mean, you're dealing with Villa Court and Griner. Get that done and then go to Southview. I don't think you need to open up both of them at the same time.
Just kind of running them.
Yeah.
Because it would have similar outcomes. Both of them have requested it in the past. So, and then again, just reviewing opportunities for roadway shared use pass, those types of things on projects, future needs, and funding availability. The concrete replacement program, which is the street sidewalk ADA project, that'll have a bid opening this Thursday here at City Hall. A public bid opening.
What time?
It's at 10 o'clock.
And Tammy's going to do that.
Tammy and Kelly.
Okay, yeah. Tammy Kujawa and Kelly's actually going to do that because we will be in San Diego.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, right. I don't think so, but yeah. Thank you for that.
All right. That brings me to San Diego, or the new turbine generator number 14. We've done some site demo work, some grading work, some investigation using hydro excavation techniques. So they're well underway. They got some job trailers out there. They're working every day on that project. We did run into some soil issues where the foundation of the turbine and the exhaust stack will be sitting. So they're investigating how we mitigate that and what cost that is to the city. The soils are softer than what they initially anticipated with all the wet weather we've had. We've had to excavate more out and either put aggregate or put it on piers. We're trying to figure out what's the fastest way and the least expensive way to the contract. So I hope to have a better answer by the city council meeting next Monday. But working through that, again, the delivery is August 8th and commercially available late 2025, 2026. Tomorrow, we are leaving to go to San Diego to attend the factory acceptance test. This is where the generator will be set up, operational, the whole thing. We'll see it run. It'll be under line load, basically, of what we have. So we'll see that with natural gas, and I believe diesel fuel as well. So it's a dual fuel. Kind of exciting to be able to see that run before they ship it out.
That is a requirement for they're building these to do a live test. If in fact the purchaser, us, actually wants to be there, they actually do that for you. Once that live test is completely done, then the finished assembly is done, crated and sent to you in a tractor trailer.
You guys driving the truck back?
No. Did you see the mayor driving that?
No. Well, you can come up at 4:30 tomorrow morning and he's off.
That's okay.
This would be the second trip to San Diego,
Correct.
part of it, so that's why the mayor knows.
The first one with him and Jason Jackson, where VHMG went out, was all technical and the prep work in order to get it set on the site.
And we're actually taking our power plant operator, John, this year as well.
Really?
Those would be a benefit to have him.
That makes sense.
Witness it and see it. I mean, he knows a lot about it. Just talking to him, walking these plans, he knows what to do and what not to do.
He's been working with him for a long time. He's very, very knowledgeable in all of our plant generations.
So you leave tomorrow and you get back when?
Thursday.
Quick trip.
Right. Okay. So we'll be out. John will be at the plant if we need.
We have Ben.
Generator.
We have Ben.
I know we got Ben. All right.
We got Ben and Peyton as well,
Yes.
if we need it. So, you're left in good hands. That's the plan. All right, so anybody have any questions on any of those capital projects? Nathan will touch base on 3rd Street and some of the other ones, so. I brought this up before, capital purchases, the natural gas odorizer. We are working with USDI on getting that a quotation. Again, it's a critical item that we need to get installed. So. Other equipment, the northeast lift station generator.
Probably since we have it on, you probably should explain what an odorizer is and what the.
Oh, so that inserts the odorant into the natural gas line. So we, a homeowner or a resident or somebody commercial, a tenant smells gas. That's what you're smelling, and we insert the odorant into the gas.
Because natural gas has no odor.
Right.
We have to add something to it so that you can smell if you have a leak.
It's important we maintain that on a regular basis, but this one's seen 20 years, and we've been noticing some issues with it. So it's time to replace it. Good comment there. Next item is northeast lift station generator. That has not been working for some time. We've been putting quite a few parts into it to try to keep it running. So we are in the midst of replacing that. We temporarily use a portable generator if and when that's needed. So right now we budgeted $55,000. We received 3 bids. The low bid was $45,000 and some change in the high bid. Actually, the high bid is $50,000 and some change. And the $49,170 is a Caterpillar. We have those, within the city. That would be John Looking kind of handles a lot of that along with Ben. That would be our preferred generator to purchase. Would be the Caterpillar. Seem to have a little bit better on-site training and technology and setup and that.
And our familiarity with it.
That's correct. So we can go either way. I just kind of want to get everybody's thought before I bring this to City Council next week. It's about $3,300 higher than the low bid. To get used to it.
Actually, our 3 Caterpillars that we use in power generation and some other stuff. We work at 3,300 in order to go with something that you already know, and this is going to be a long-term item.
And we've got some other generators, out standby generators out and about that are different models, but they seem to have the best response time with the Caterpillar ones and works.
I'd say stick with what is working.
I agree with that. Stick with what's working, what we know.
Jolly good with spending another Gary, Hoppy, Joel, Matt, Jim.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's stick with what we know.
Okay, the next item is the Wilkie entrance there on Rogers Street. ordinance for Rogers, this portion of Rogers Street, Hallmarker to Country Club. This was done in 2001, late 2001, this ordinance. The county just passed a new ordinance, amending their ordinance that we mimic theirs, they mimic ours. It's on the second page. Mr. Wilkie would like, instead of putting a street in, would be more of a driveway entrance. You mentioned this already. If we do this, there's an existing curb cut. His property is, many of you know this, but not everybody. His property is this general area right in here. There's an existing curb cut. When I say a curb cut, it's the breast section of the curb that he would like to utilize in that area. I think it's a driveway entrance. It would be okay if we pass a similar ordinance that the county has. I know we're going to have potentially other issues, not necessarily issues, but other instances along the corridor through here that ordinance would address it. We have to not just have to mimic what the county does, but it was a county street at one time, and it did the jurisdictional transfer to the city. You'll see on the second one, it's basically 5 acres or more, or minimum of 5 acres, and have a frontage of 330 feet.
And it has that, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be here.
That is correct.
And then the 180 degrees, so just make sure that cars don't have to back out. Is the intention on that. So all we're being asked to do is to update our ordinance to reflect the same things as the county.
That's correct.
Adopt the ordinance.
Or adopt it.
Yes. Modify it, basically, that we already have.
It seems...
The curb cut is about 45 feet, or the compressed section is about 45 feet wide. We'd ask to taper it up, to keep that there, and then taper it down to a normal driveway width. He has it on his plans. I'd like, my notes here, like to have a sidewalk platform and ADA shelf ready through the driveway. When I say a shelf, 2% or less cross slope. So if the city ever desires to extend the sidewalk from Natalie Estates down on that side, we would have to remove the driveway entrance and then replace it. It'd already be available to us. I think that's a fair ask.
Who's doing it? Who's doing it?
Doing what?
The driveway.
I'm not sure. Mr. Wilkie's contractor would be doing that work.
That's what I want to know.
I haven't selected anybody because I haven't had a design to put out.
We're not.
We're not.
No, we're not. No.
We'll just review the entrance.
Make it doable for the contractor to do it.
That's correct. So, and I bring this to City Council next Monday. Unless we wanted to go to ordinance meeting first.
If we're okay with actually adopting an ordinance, either the same or very similar to, it would meet these requirements. Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Matt, Jim,
Yes.
Tina?
Yeah.
We're all good with that. So if you will handle taking care of the ordinance portion of that, and as long as send that actually back to Nate and to JR so that they can review the ordinance, and if we don't have any issues with it, then it will go on council in order to adopt it. And Mr. Wilkie, you don't have an issue with the putting the sidewalk or putting the slope, correct, for a sidewalk that would come in at a later date?
No, I don't have a problem with doing that for future. I don't know if you need those like ADA mats or.
No.
No.
Just so it's not at 5%.
Right.
5 years from now, we're replacing it, and we have to do more work.
It's pretty flat right there, so you can come off the curb.
It is pretty flat there.
So I'm gonna make a big problem.
Just trying to think ahead of that sidewalk and eventually go through.
So if you'll take care of the ordinance and then send it back to, and then you want to put it on 21st?
That's correct.
Okay. As long as we don't have an issue, and this will be on the agenda on the 21st.
And then does it have to go through another reading or?
No.
Vote on it?
No, it'll be final.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, the last item, noteworthy items. Just looking at that online portal, work with Sarah Deutsch, hopefully on getting something where folks can submit online requests for a work order, that type of thing. Just trying to solving that issue for you guys and our residents, making sure we're being responsive in a timely manner. I know stuff gets lost in my inbox and my voicemails, but try to accommodate the best I can. So, and there's a running list. I want to tell everybody there's a running list at my desktop. So, other than that.
And again, if you have questions, you don't necessarily have to wait for a meeting. You can email JR, you can email Nate and find out about the thing instead of waiting for a meeting. So. Good?
Yeah, I'm good. Unless anybody has anything else.
Thank you. Nate?
Okay. Just want to do a quick piggyback with Remington Bridge and what JR said. There could be a little bit of confusion on the job site as this is a Huebner Development Corp. Doing the work. However, they hired a subcontractor to work together. That subcontractor, thank you. That subcontractor has been putting the mains in, and Huebner's been putting the laterals in. Today was the first time that the subcontractor ran a main perpendicular to the existing water main. And just to make sure everyone's aware, this water line's been in the ground for a couple decades. You know, it's marked, it's been underground located, no excuse. But for some developers, they can forget quite easily from Friday to Monday. There was flag marks within a few feet of where it happened. I'll show you a couple quick pictures.
Were there any other utilities impacted by this, or just water?
Just water. So yeah, what they were doing, they were crossing. They lost track of what they were doing, and they went literally right through the pipe. So the only option was to shut off the water from Quail Ridge, and that would have that chain effect. I've been trying to push for a loop system from the sewer plant to Runlock. We just haven't got there yet. It will happen. That would have changed everything for a day like today, but it is what it is. Just a heads up, Lane Heber, who's running the job, he just said that our city underground crew does really, really good work, quick, very professional, and they got in, got out, and took care of the problem. He says he goes through other communities, and it gets pretty wild with their municipal government.
So Nate, they hit it with a backhoe?
Yeah, a track.
Track hoe.
So they ripped, right through it. So.
Can you go back up to that top page? How long was that pipe in the ground?
Well, I say it was out in the sun for a long time, but
How long has it been in service?
I would say 20 years-ish.
It's a clean pipe for 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Hold on. What's up
Obviously,
right there?
dirt from breaking it, but yeah, the gas lines around there very clear.
Yeah. At least there's no film in there. So, yeah. Good point. So, anyways, you can see the fitting right here. That's about a $1,000 fitting. It compresses. It does a great job. There's two of them, obviously. So, just a heads up, they're going to get an ordinance violation. We're going to pin them with an ordinance violation. They'll have to pay all of the union labor that it takes to fix it, the parts, running a guy up to Tech Lab, and then the cost for a speedy turnover on the PAC-T test. So the Huebner had no problem with it. Obviously, he's going to pass it on. So Any questions with that?
And any cost involved in this, the contractor actually pays us.
Yeah. And I think JR mentioned there was 2 back tees in Country Club Hills, 2 in Remington Ridge. So 4 back tees. Okay. While we're talking about hitting stuff, let's go to another spot. So last Tuesday, we had a contractor hit sanitary sewer force main.
Different contractor.
Different color inside the pipe.
Yeah.
So
That pipe's probably not as clean.
it's not as clean. So we all remember that Dennis Brand, we just passed his final plat for the 15 acres north of Legacy Drive. What he wanted to do is there's 400 feet of sewer lateral that needs to be conducted to get to the new house that hasn't been built yet. But he wanted to stage his elevation of the foundation according to get gravity sewer. So Jared Schmitz and we met last Monday with this contractor. It's Green Thumb Landscaping. And there wasn't any property pins marked. We went over a few things, and I told this gentleman, call me back when you have this ready. We'll meet, and then we'll execute a plan. Tuesday afternoon, I get a call. He hit the sewer line. So 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC. They dug right through it. So they had to get J&J Septic out there to clean it all up and maintain the lift station. And again, the same 4-inch instead of 8 here. This is a 4-inch force main. But we had, you see where they had to, dig it up, cut it off, and then basically the exact same fittings again. So, and then they went through the tracer wire, had to redo that. So we had Cole there, our foreman for underground, and we had both the younger sewer guys there. So again, this contractor is a little different as he is more of a landscape contractor rather than a utility contractor. I've been discussing this with JR and the mayor. We are not going to issue him a excavation permit. So Dennis will have to hire somebody who's bonded and insured to get out of this easement area. And then if they hire whoever to go on private property is none of our business. So that's kind of the route we're going on that one. So
Did they have a permit?
they did not have a permit. We didn't get that far.
Okay. Should everybody that is issued a permit be bonded and insured in the future?
All excavation permit.
Right. That's what I
So
meant.
if they're digging in an easement or a right of way, yes. But
Okay.
mostly like normal development, all the utilities are ran to that easement line where they don't have to be bonded or insured.
Right.
So this is a little bit of an odd case, but he was getting in, exposing 3-phase electric. We had, gravity sewer, force main. It was all right there. And, didn't see a utility probe. I saw one shovel off in the distance. It was complete chaos. So
He's lucky he didn't kill himself.
yeah. So same thing, has to pay for ordinance violation and material, time, labor for the union guys. Any questions with that? Okay. Let's go to Rose Meadows, their detention area. I've been in contact with Joel and Matt these last week or so, and we're to a point where we're making a good impact on this property. Mr. Wetzler, Tom Wetzler, he mowed this today. Did a great job. The blades on the mower are probably a little duller than they were. So, but generally speaking, a much better job.
Cleaned up very nice.
It's very nice. So what I have going on, I am going to send summer help sometime this week to take the gator. There's some trash, blown down there. There's a few random logs and stuff. I want them to clean it up real good. And then our next step, which I scheduled with Eric, right here where this growth is, that's the storm sewer discharge area. There's some steep in-banks. So what we're going to do is fix that. This is all high. We're going to bring some dirt in, clean this up, put a new, the flared end sections over here. We're going to put that on, and then work around the discharge area to clean that up. We need equipment to do that. And it looks like the route we're using is going to work pretty good with us, straddling the very edge of the property instead of going between houses.
It'll be on the west side.
The west side.
Use those pads.
No, we don't have the pads yet. But where this is at, it's very hard dirt. So Tom went in and out, and you couldn't even tell. Yeah. So it's actually a pretty good spot for us. So that's what's the update.
How often do you think we'll need to build this?
3 times a year.
I mean,
3 times a year.
3 times a year. Okay.
I mean, we haven't mowed it yet this year.
Right.
Mid-July.
So the 3 times a year would prevent any sapling basically from getting out too large.
Yeah. Yeah, some of that was about 10 plus feet up already this year. So, and we'll just tackle it. I did talk to Mrs. today. She walked out, and Mrs. Homeowner, and she was very happy and content. So I think we got over a good hurdle today. Any questions?
Thanks to Tom.
Thanks to Tom, Next thing, real quick, West 3rd Street, I think everyone knows that the asphalt has been completed on West 3rd. My only hang up here is on Rowell Street. So here's your Three Tails. And you can see the new sidewalk crossing here. You might not be able to tell. The cross slope coming this way is about 4%. ADA is no more than 2%. Also, the running slope is 5%, 5.1. They have it a little bit, so they have to knock that down to 5 or less. So the contractor's going to come in, mill it, and relay that area. So according to the field inspector, Scott from HMG, they beat on it, but they couldn't get it, and they put too much asphalt there. So that's probably the only big thing that you'll see if you see somebody milling. It's not that big a deal.
Just when do they plan on doing that?
I don't know.
We don't have a date yet.
I don't have a date.
They're gonna mill it up?
They're going to mill up that area and relay it. So we want
Who made the full width?
Killian did.
Killian had to come in?
Yeah.
All right.
So they stole workers from Hyatt, and it's kind of a hodgepodge to make it work. But they did a really good job. I was skeptical, and I'm glad that it turned out really good.
But the inlets are all ready to accept the next good rain?
We're going to find out. So far so good with the inlets until we witness something that is greater.
Actually, when I was down there on Saturday when it was raining, and there was quite a bit of water on the east end, closer to SBBS. But by the time you got the block about, say, 150 feet from this, all that water was actually being caught by the inlets, and there actually wasn't any water here.
Good.
In the curves.
Really?
So it's actually being caught.
There's really only 4 inlets, isn't there?
Right.
It's surprising. There's only 4.
They're going to get used.
Yeah.
Without any doubt.
But the most of it was being caught before it ever got to the most point.
Good. That's what we want to hear. So
Let's see it.
let's see it. Yeah, or 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing I want to talk about, just West 4th Street. We have preliminary construction plans. We met with our lead department heads. we decided we need to do a little more discovery work as far as existing utilities to the proposed utilities coming in. So if you see a bunch of utility marks, we're going to be doing some potholing and discovery work on West 4th Street. So we need to get that done first, and then we'll keep moving forward.
Is there a timeline for that?
JR, what's your thoughts?
I was hoping sooner than later, but given we're middle of the summer, probably wouldn't hurt to hold it till start sometime in the fall. Just do some of the storm sewer work, maybe just get a better price, hopefully in the fall.
And just asking because I think that would be a key time to make sure Sarah's involved, just with all the traffic on that road, just so people can plan accordingly, whether it's to schools, to businesses, etc. Just a lot of traffic, so
Yep.
keep in mind.
Yeah. And we have, I believe, 3 lead copper services we'll knock out of there. So we'll take that off our 60 list.
Right.
So I think it's 3, maybe 4.
That's the goal, right? Let's cut the street up now before we lay fresh
Correct.
pavement down.
Yeah.
We have some preliminary design of extending a water main on Library going towards the north a little bit. There's some service lines that come in. So we have some ticket items we want to take care of first before we go too far. That's all I have.
Questions?
Nobody's,
Yeah.
you see some equipment out there, are they only doing the water still? Or are they?
Okay, so we're putting in gas main.
And that's my question.
That's our guys putting in gas main. We just made the turn to go south by the old LP station there. So we were trying to work this last Saturday, but we got
Rain
drenched.
got involved, so
Yeah, rain got
didn't get it done.
So just a quick update, the SOC sample that was required for the potential pesticide from the farmer, that came back, nothing detected. So we were good on back tees, all the back tees, the SOC, and pressure test. Tomorrow we're going to turn the valves on so they can start flushing their building. So we want to get gas there as soon as possible. It's just as soon as we can get in there, we're going to keep moving.
Thank you. Zoning Administrator, Roberta?
We had a slower month for permits. In June, we only had 10. 3 of those were residential, 4 accessory, 1 commercial, and 2 cultivation. We had 3 permits total actually come in for the new addition in Silver Creek. This is one of the first ones, 1,000 Waymaker. It's a 1,900 square foot home. There was one on Legacy with 3,300 square foot. And this 530 Legacy is the 15 acres that we just annexed in last week. And it is a 6,500 square foot. Accessory permits, everybody's doing decks right now. 6 Fun Run is having an attached deck. 822 Glenbrier is having an attached deck. O Sugar is actually putting an addition onto the back of their building, which is more commercial, but it was just an addition. It will be the same building materials as what they currently have with the blocks. 511 North Moore Street also has a deck. For commercial permits, 100 Plaza Drive, this is the left side of Family Video. It's just an interior build out. There's nothing planned right now. It's just to get it ready for future business.
excavation 102 First East Street and 102 East First Street, excuse me, and then Covington Drive and Rimlock Drive. Those were just fiber drops as well. Current projects, there's no planning commission meeting tonight. First one in a while. Permits I have going on, I have a residential that I issued today, an excavation permit. Commercial, Apex is expanding into just where they're at, the other, an addition. One accessory building, 3 sign applications. One of those is going to need a variance, so that will be in August. And then one is pending a site plan because there's a lot of utilities in there, so they're been waiting on those for a couple weeks now. In Quail Ridge, they will be starting the hotel tomorrow. They're moving along. All the lines, sewer, water, all that is in. They did their road crossings a couple weeks ago as well. Remington Ridge, things weren't moving smoothly until today, but as Nathan told you, it got rectified quickly, and they are going to continue on. Brad and I were out and about and saw this house in Sandalwood. They added a metal roof, basically put a metal roof over a gazebo, and it doesn't hit code. So we were working with them to get that rectified more. It will need to come down because it doesn't hit pitch and it doesn't have approved building materials, so that one will have to come down and start fresh. They did that without a permit, so yeah. Any other questions? Yes, Gary.
Quick question on, I guess it's Parrot Perch. Is that the new gaming
Yes.
place? What's the process for a gaming approval? Because we talked about that internally, and I think there was discussion on no real desire to expand. And I was surprised when I pulled up and saw it was not only expanded but open, or now we had a grand opening.
So that one was on, there was a spreadsheet that went out in the last meeting that we did, and that was on the list of pending, and it was included in that game total.
Right.
But they have to apply, it's state first for your liquor license, and then city first for your gaming license. And those all go through Tammy. I don't see them until I get the building permit, and that's how I know somebody wants gaming.
The state process takes 8 to 9 months, so they have to be way out in front of that.
So that was in
So
front
they
of
would
that.
actually come to us and tell us that they wanted it. So that was in the works a long time ago.
Okay. It just seemed like something that, yeah, it's there. It's,
Right.
It
Huck's
got
also,
by me, obviously, but it was one of those, it seemed like with the conversations we had and knowing this is
but
coming.
we actually did not take any action.
Understood.
Right.
It would be a good time to discuss it.
The
Right.
spreadsheet that
At
we
least
had,
revisit that. That was.
So we also, part of that was Huck's has already come to us, even though they don't have an address.
Casey's.
Casey's on Illinois Avenue.
and that also includes Champions Corner. We had 3 pending, which was Casey's, the Parrots Perch, and Champions Corner. They're all pending but weren't open as of the last meeting, but their gaming systems were in the counts of how many we had.
And then with Parrot Perch, it looks like they drilled into the sidewalk.
So I actually
that
talked to her about
code?
that. No, but that portion of the sidewalk
It is their sidewalk?
is hers.
Okay.
I pulled it up on the GIS.
Double check.
We did the concrete, but that portion is hers.
When we were redoing Mill Street, we actually redid all of that, but in fact, that portion of it is hers.
Okay.
That was actually kind of like an alleyway that had a fence across it, and we basically approved that, but it's hers.
Feather flags are not part of code, but that is an ongoing battle through town that we're working on.
So one other question then is also the State Farm parking lot across from First National Bank. That's still going to be concreted or asphalted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
It looks like they worked on that this past week.
It looks like
It's
it's
rock.
almost like sand or little gravel.
I went by today, this afternoon, it's rock, which
Right.
is with the rain is bleeding into their,
Yeah, no,
their grass, which if they're mowing, that could be dangerous for cars driving up and down
Agreed.
Market Street too.
It was made very clear that it had to be hard surface, whether that be concrete or asphalt.
Going back to the Parrot Head Perch, contact you about signage on the building?
I told her, I stopped in, dropped off the code and the application. I am waiting for her to return that application because it is large.
Right.
And you're only allowed 1 square foot per street linear footage that you have.
Right.
So
It's big.
it is large.
But, and same thing with the banner. I mean, that is the epitome of what we don't want our downtown to look like,
Agreed.
in my opinion.
Yeah. I know we get a few out like on Market Street and stuff. You see pop up here and there.
Yes.
But
I don't staying on that.
We have to go get them.
I'm gonna have to get a truck though because they don't fit in the Explorer.
Right.
I'll bring my truck. Let's go. It's white.
Just slap a sticker on it, it'll be fine.
Great.
Anything else?
Any questions? Thank you, Roberta.
Yep.
Brad, building inspector.
I know you're excited. Thank you, Brad.
Well, it's been a while.
So I got some pictures too.
Oh, thank you.
Or not.
You gotta, just like this report.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary, I know you had a call on this one, I believe, on South Market. A lot of overgrowth. You can see the gutter falling down. They've got a 2x6 holding that up, so I did send them a violation notice to take care of some of that.
What by today, it's looking much, much better.
Yes, he worked on it over the weekend. He's still got the deck in the back that needs to be removed that's sitting there, but you can see how overgrown it is there.
Thank you.
This is after the weekend. Looks a lot better. So this is another one I have on North Main. He's got 2 trailers in the background you can see there. A dump trailer full of junk with all the tools. A Bobcat bucket. There's another trailer in the back with kayaks and stuff. So I also sent them a notice on Friday. I mean, it looks pretty bad. He has moved the dump trailer, so hopefully he'll work on getting the other ones. But I did have a complaint on that one. It looks bad, so hopefully he'll get that rectified here soon. This is a drainage problem I had at Creekside. A neighbor called. Water stood in his yard with all the rain we've been having, and you can see the mulch that he's got built up here. He actually put a small pipe in, so it was holding water on the neighbors. So I sent him a violation notice, and he called me and said he had permission from one of the neighbors to put that in. And I said, well, that's a drainage easement, so you can't, put any mulch or anything. You can see how he kind of built it up there, but he got that drain in there, so it wouldn't take all the water. So it was holding the neighbors. He has cleaned it up, taken care of it. So we get calls like that all the time on drainage. It did not be easy. This is another one. When I was down on the South Market across the street, and this is a repeat offender. It's just overgrown so bad. See the front. I mean, when I went to the front door, you couldn't hardly open the front door. So they have started working on it. I don't got no pictures. There's a big tree of them in the front. There's always limbs there. Like I said, she's always.
Does she have help working on this, or?
I think she did reach out. I think that was one on Facebook that she's an elderly woman and she needed some help. So
And I think probably a couple of churches have actually reached out to help her in the past.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking if she actually has help.
So I gave her 7 days, and a lot of people were like, well, you only gave her 7 days. But, if you give them 7, it seems like it takes them 20 days to get it taken care of. So,
We can revisit that
Right.
And see if we're actually making progress.
215 Osterhage, I know they hired someone to keep the grass mowed. So I got on them about how grown up it is. I don't have no pictures right now, but it's getting bad.
They've hired somebody to come in and do the landscape
Yes.
and take care of the yard now. So they're going to do everything.
He told me this week, I'm hoping, I'm going to stay in touch with Melanie.
It looks much, much better. So
It does, it's the landscape, and I told her, I said, why don't you just tear it all out? You're going to have to start over anyway sometime, whatever they do with the house. So
it looks like they took a lot of it and moved it to the side of the house, but maybe they're just trying to get everything done before they haul it away. But it looks much, much better.
Good. Plaza
Do we
Tire.
pay for that, or does the homeowner pay for that?
The homeowner's paying for it. Yep, they hired someone to mow the grass and to.
And even if we contracted, we put a lien against the property. And we have put liens on that property, correct, in the past. But right now, they've hired someone in order to do it.
I've also got the one on 123 Jefferson. I think you've had some complaints. I had a lot of liens on that one. They have paid the liens. They do have someone to mow it here this week, but then they said they're getting out of it and it's going back to the homeowner. So I don't know how that'd be. I got to get in contact with them.
Natalie's looking at that. As to who's responsible.
There's a current foreclosure case going in Monroe County right now. They've served one of the two homeowners. I know a few people in the community that are interested in purchasing the home, but to the best of my understanding and from checking Judici on Friday last week, they've still not even served one of the two homeowners.
So it's going to.
So I'm not sure how it's being removed from who's in charge of it now.
So the trailer on South Library, I did talk to the homeowner there, and we have removed utilities there, and he is going to tear it out. Okay. He talked about fixing it up, but it's way beyond that. And then our other one that's condemned on North Library, they are taking care of it. They've cleaned up the outside. Leaves were everywhere. They're mowing the grass. So.
About the one just south of 156 here on South Library.
So that one, I told him he needs to get a structural engineer to look at the foundation, because there's just piers in their concrete, and some of them are deteriorating, and they've got hardy backing board screwed up to keep stuff out from underneath it. So I told him he needs to get a structural engineer to prove that it's structurally sound before he moves on. Also, Nate and I were on the roof. There's holes in the roof. I told him it can't be patched anymore. It's going to have a roofer look at it and see what can be done. So, see what the structural engineer comes up with.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been by Plaza Tire. They're moving along pretty good. I did an inspection there for the floor. They're going to pour that tomorrow. But they're moving right along on that. That's all I have.
Questions? Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, Brett. This might be one of my last utility meetings, so I just want to say, huh?
It might not.
It might not. If I don't see you, it's been good working with you.
You're hoping of it.
I might be back. Gordon likes to see the slides.
I do. Yeah, let's come bug you at the plant.
No report.
No reports? Okay. For the mayor's report, myself, JR, Nate, and John Looking will leave City Hall tomorrow morning about 4:30, going to San Diego. While I am out of town, we will be back on Thursday afternoon. Kyle is your mayor. We will be available by phone, but Kyle's the guy in charge. Just don't run the ditch,
I'll call you, don't worry.
So I expect there will be no problem. So I think JR has covered virtually everything that I actually wanted to cover. The only thing that is outstanding at this point in time that we need to talk about is the 1% grocery tax. We can discuss that now here, or if you would prefer to have another ordinance meeting to talk about it, I would let you guys decide whether you want to have an ordinance. We've already talked about it once at an ordinance meeting.
Does it need a recommendation from that committee since it is a change to ordinance?
It will.
So there probably would be a need for an ordinance committee meeting?
It will. We can most certainly discuss it here, but if you're going to have an ordinance meeting, it's probably really not an issue at this point. I do believe that we need to have that on the agenda for the 21st, so we would need to schedule an ordinance committee meeting earlier in the evening on the 21st.
What are the meetings we had that night, do you know? Fair.
I don't think we don't actually have anything scheduled for the 21st, correct?
There will be some public hearings.
That's right, there's one or two.
There's 2 public hearings, but I don't think we don't have any committee meetings.
So the public hearing would be like at 7:10 and 7:20. So
I would think 6:30.
6:30?
Enough time, as everybody on the committee thinks?
Yeah.
Like 40 minutes, if we would need that much.
Yeah, an ordinance committee meeting on the 21st at 6:30. If there's anything else that you want to put on that we can.
We could.
I'll have this ordinance ready
Yeah,
for
if
you
we're gonna
guys
have one,
for.
you might as well make an official recommendation.
Yeah.
Make it a line item, please.
We will be actually having, I believe, at some point before too long, a facade grant for the VFW. We don't have it yet. They're actually going to put in an ADA entrance on the north side of the building on the front. Nate, Brad, a number of people have actually looked at it. So when you go to the front of their building, they had stairs on the right, lift on the left. There's an issue with that lift, and it's no longer, I think, viable. So what they're going to do is just to one side of the front entrance, they're going to put a external ADA ramp from there, and they will actually have to go around the corner of the building in order to get that 1% grade. And then it will actually come into what used to be, what still is, their office that comes in behind the bar upstairs. And then they will be ADA compliant both front and rear, not between inside, but which will actually give them, I think, a lot better access and the ability to have events there in that. And I think that is the only one that I'm actually that I know about, and they have not done that yet.
It's Jim now.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Jim. I'll look at you.
Sorry, you got the same information out. I'm sure where you were looking.
Any questions or comments for me at this point? Okay. Committee reports, number 14. June 16, 25 Planning Committee meeting.
The planning committee meeting covered off on a number of different items. All are outlined in the minutes that were so expertly put together. Thank you, Michelle. That was great. If there's no changes to it, we'll take a motion to approve as submitted.
I will make that motion.
First by Joel.
I'll second.
Second by Matt. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
The June 16, 25 ordinance.
Ordinance committee meeting minutes should be in front of you. Thank you again, Michelle. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hopkins, a second.
Second.
Mr. Most, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is approved.
Thank you. C, July 7, 25 finance.
Meeting minutes are in front of you.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
First, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Number 15, Hobby.
I want to apologize for my phone. I have my hearing aids. It's an app on my phone. And I have to tune in that on every setting and every meeting to get where I can hear. So temporarily my phone was on and then I got a call. So I apologize for interrupting the meeting. The second thing, it wasn't a city event, Mayor, but do you have any kind of report, maybe with the chief, on the 4th of July, the red, white, and blue on in the news.
I don't have an official report. I was out there both days. It wasn't, I think, attended as well as they had hoped. But past that, I can't give you a report. The city did a small sponsorship like we do all of our other events, but I don't have an official response on it.
I was just wondering, because
And I haven't been supplied that, so I don't know.
I didn't make it out there. I heard very little about it. That's it. Thank you.
Joel? Matt?
Nothing.
Jim?
No, sir.
Tina?
Nothing.
Al?
Nothing.
Gordon?
No.
Gary?
I think we need to acknowledge some of the most exciting news that's happened in the city in a couple of years.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And that is that while the Ani's building still looks horrible, Ani's 2.0 was out on Facebook, and they're coming back in some way, shape, or form. So
I saw that.
let's all be happy. I will buy the first round of donuts for everybody.
I'm just hoping they have something that I used to buy.
That's all I got.
Thank you. And I knew that donuts were specialty, so. Motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second?
I'll make it.
All those in favor, aye?
All right.
You're out at 7:48.